Opening scene. Thunder rumbles. The sound of a CB radio crackles. A trucker's voice comes through, urgent and shaken. Trucker, VO, this is Big Mike. Anyone out there? I swear to God, there's a fifth truck in our convoy, but it's not one of us. It's just there, following, never answering, never passing. And when we stop, it's gone. The radio hisses, then goes dead. The camera slowly pulls back, revealing an empty, fog-covered highway stretching into the void. Fade to black. Story 1. The Lost Turn. A desolate highway at night. Trucker JD drives, eyes heavy with fatigue. His headlights barely cut through the thick mist rolling over the road. His CB radio crackles to life, sending a jolt of static through the cabin. Voice on CB. You took the wrong turn. Turn back now. JD grips the wheel, looking around. His GPS is frozen. There are no exits, no side roads. Just miles of endless asphalt disappearing into the abyss. JD, who is this? Silence. Just the distant hum of his engine. He checks his mirrors, 4 trucks behind him, and then a fifth. Its headlights dim, flickering, as if struggling to exist in this world. JD blinks. Was it always there? Then, the voice returns, but this time, distorted and stretched. Voice on CB. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. The static erupts, drowning everything. JD grips the wheel tighter, his pulse hammering. He watches in horror as the phantom truck grows closer, its headlights illuminating something twisted behind the wheel. An impossibly wide grin, hollow eyes staring back at him. Story 2. The Haunted Pit Stop. A rest stop in the middle of nowhere. The air is thick with an unnatural stillness. Trucker Lisa steps out for a smoke, stretching her legs. The gas station's old neon sign flickers, casting eerie shadows on the cracked pavement. Across the lot, she notices a truck parked alone. No driver, no movement, just idling. She hesitates, then walks over, knocking on the window. Nothing. The truck's radio crackles, faint at first, then growing louder, distorting into an unnatural whisper. Radio, whispering, you should have kept driving. Lisa's breath catches. A shiver crawls down her spine. The truck door creaks open on its own, revealing nothing inside. The driver's seat is empty, yet in the reflection of the windshield, she sees something standing directly behind her, tall, featureless, its hands reaching out. Story 3. Dead air. Night falls on an empty road. Trucker Hank is flipping through CB channels when he hears a conversation that shouldn't exist. The voices echo as if coming from a long-forgotten transmission. Man's voice, on CB, where's the fifth truck? We lost it again. Woman's voice, on CB, it's still with us. Watching, Hank's blood runs cold. The voices sound wrong, distant yet too close, as if whispered directly into his ear. He glances at his rearview mirror. 5 sets of headlights. One truck looks older, rusted, like it had been abandoned for decades, yet somehow still moves. His radio screeches, high-pitched and unbearable. The whispers overlap, speaking in a language he doesn't understand. Then, suddenly, the fifth truck isn't behind him anymore. It's ahead, parked, blocking the road. The last thing Hank sees are the headlights flickering, revealing a row of figures standing in the darkness, their hollow eyes locked onto him. Story 4. The Final Transmission. Big Mike, the one who made the first transmission, is alone. The CB radio hums with dead air. The logbooks in his passenger seat are open, pages flipped wildly by an unseen force. His hands tremble. The convoy has always had 5 trucks, hadn't it? He tries to remember, but the details blur like fog over a lost road. A familiar sound crackles through his radio. A voice. JD, on CB, Mike. Where are we going? Lisa's voice follows. Then Hank's. All of them calling. their voices growing more desperate, more fragmented. Big Mike grips the CB radio, his voice barely a whisper. Big Mike, you're all dead. I saw what happened. I buried you. And then, in the rearview mirror, 5 headlights. The Phantom Convoy, coming for him. They were never gone. They never left. Fade to black. Epilogue. The road never ends. A rookie trucker, Sam, sits in a greasy diner, flipping through an old CB radio frequency chart. An older driver watches him, shaking his head. Old trucker, you ever hear about the Phantom Convoy? Sam chuckles, taking a sip of his coffee. Sam, yeah, some old trucker ghost story, right? The old trucker leans in, his eyes hollow. Old trucker, it ain't a story, kid. You ever see an extra truck in your convoy? One that don't answer? One that never passes? You just keep driving. And pray it don't follow you home. Sam smirks, shaking his head. But as he steps out of the diner, his smirk fades. His truck is parked in the lot. And next to it, a 5th truck, idling. No driver. No sound. The CB radio in his cab crackles. The same whisper from before, only clearer this time. Radio, whispering, we see you. Sam freezes. His breath turns to mist in the air. The truck's headlights flicker on. Fade to black. Ending note. Some say the Phantom Convoy still roams the highways, appearing when the night is at its darkest. If you ever find yourself on a lonely stretch of road and spot an extra set of headlights that shouldn't be there, keep driving and never ever stop.